Hello, it's Kadisha. I'm back with another video. Oh my goodness. We have to take responsibility for our own life. We really do. And the Lord allowed me to realize this weekend and realize how important it is that we not only take responsibility for our lives, but also be the example that we want to not only see in the world, but especially in our families and the ones close around us. I was able to be with I say my little kids. They're not my kids, but some kids I grew up with, and I've kind of watched them grow up this weekend, and I hadn't seen them in a while, and they had gotten so big, and I was like, Lord, oh my goodness. But it actually brought me to almost tears, because I remember, like I said, them growing up and then seeing them so little, and then now seeing them to an age where I feel like they're maturing a lot. But even in that, the Lord allowed me to realize that kids need to be trained up. They really do need to have the example of how to live the life that the Lord has for us. And so it's, as we know, maturity does not come with age, unfortunately. And if people do not get the proper teachings, they will just grow up. And you will wonder why you're looking at someone who's a certain age and they still act like they're someone of a much younger age, that you would think being a child would be more of their age than the age that they are. And the Lord just made me realize, like, yes, you have to teach them. And so even when I was with them for that short amount of time, it was teaching. And I'm just like, Lord, I'm not their parents, and oftentimes we do want to put down our, I would say, maturity to say, oh, I don't have to do this because I'm not so-and-so. Did I drop this phone? I guess so. I got another crack on this phone. Lord. But yeah, even that, I was just like, okay, I have to be the adult here. And I had to tell them, like, no, you got to do this. No, this is not the way. And I mean, I felt like, man, Lord, I'm like them, like white on rice type of thing. And I realized it's so important. Of course, you don't want to be a dictator where you're trying to tell someone how to do, how to be, or anything like that. But it's just like, when they're a child, you do have to tell them right from wrong. And I had to do that. When I was talking, I was just like, these kids, like, Lord, you can't let them slip by. You can't. You have to really be on them, because they was eating, and we were inside a building. They're eating some chips, and they drop it on the floor, and they act like they see it. They dropped it, and they just looked at it, and then was about to go on about their business. And I said, pick that up. Pick that up. And they picked it up and threw it in the trash. And I'm just like, Lord, they are this age and they don't know to pick that up. But the thing is, it's not that they don't know. It's that sometimes we are so lenient on our children, and we don't make them do things that we know that they should do. And like I said, it's not for us to be just a dictator, like putting the hammer on them, but it's just like, we do need to teach them morals and values. And that's going to mean that we have to grow up ourselves and do things that are not necessarily what we like. Because also, kids, they be right too. They really from the Lord. I was telling someone directions. I was like, yeah, you got to turn left. And my little kid's like, no, you gotta, it's right. And I was like, no, it's not. It's not right. It's left. I'm arguing with them, because I'm like, I'm the adult here. And then when I thought about it, I was like, oh, it's not left, it's right. So I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. It's right. And so, of course, I don't want to look wrong because I'm an adult. But it's like, you're wrong. When you're wrong, you got to admit that you're wrong and grow up. So I was just like, Lord, this is such a teaching moment. But I had a great time with it. It was so awesome. But it just really allowed me to realize that I do have to be responsible for my actions. And it is up to me, if I want to see not only my kids, but the kids that the Lord allowed me to be in their sphere of influence, that I have to make sure that I'm on them and doing and telling them what they need to do. And yeah, they're not gonna like it. Nobody likes to be basically chastised. No one likes to be told that they're wrong, but it's just like, if it's for their good, then I'm gonna have to do that, and that means that I'm gonna have to admit when I'm wrong, and I'm gonna have to do things that I don't like, because I know that's only making me become a better person. So I kind of went off on a tangent here, because I started off talking about us taking responsibility for our actions, and yeah, that still goes, but then I kind of went into children, because that is our next generation, that is our future. And so if we're not teaching our kids how to live a moral life, we can't get upset when they're adults and they're doing things that goes totally against what we would ever approve of. It's like, while they're young, the Bible specifically tells us to train them up, and it's for a reason, because when they get older, just like when you're older, you don't want to listen to your parents. You're like, I can do what I want to do because I'm grown. But it's just like, if they instilled some good things in you, and even bad, like, you'll pick those up too. So we have to be careful in that. But I hope this video encouraged you some kind of way, but more so importantly, made you look at yourself to say, okay, how can I be a better example for those around me? Because that's really what we're trying to do. So thank you so much for watching. Like I always say, sa cambio que quieres ver en otros. Until next time, bye.